Hi, and welcome back to Second Rate Film School. I'm Andrew, and again, for the fourth time, my sister Amanda joins me today. Welcome back.
You're not going to make a joke about my age.
I think it's getting old, just like you. Ha! You set me up.
Wow, that was good.
Buzzing.
Holy shit.
So yeah, we're now doing Simpsons Treehouse of Horror number 10, original air date. My notes got reset. Scrolling down. Original air date October 31st, 1999. That's why I wanted to make sure this was right. This is actually the last to air in October for a decade, and the last air on Halloween so far since. Yeah, it's great.
Oh, they have Bart as the flyboy again.
Yeah, and this is the thumbnail that you guys have been seeing for the series. I have that image as the thumbnail. I thought that was a good picking of all their iconic moments.
Yes.
Yeah, Marge was the witch and Maggie was the alien baby, so that was actually all from like the past couple Treehouse of Horrors. This segment I fucking love so much.
Yes. Can't get enough of that. Yeah. I love when he does that. That's so funny. I forgot to put the fog lights in.
I love the fog lights joke.
Man.
Yeah, this is going to be one that I actually rewatch.
Please be a dog.
Yeah. This is the one I'm going to rewatch this season to experience that joke. But yeah, this is spoiler alert. Ned Flanders becomes a villain again in this one. It's been a while since he's done anything negative. I think the last one was the Time and Punishment one where he's a dictator in the one world.
Yes.
Yes, obviously this is a parody of I Know What You Did Last Summer, the greatest movie ever made.
I've never seen that movie.
That's great. Yeah. It stars Jennifer Love Hewitt, Sarah Michelle Gellar, Freddie Prinze Jr., Johnny Galecki, and then the fourth guy no one's ever been in or seen again.
Okay, yeah, I like this.
Yeah, I love this weekend at Bernie's thing.
You got a buzzer trying to come because it's a dead body.
This had to be around the time they killed her off, too, right?
Yeah. I hate that they did that, by the way. I think that kind of sucked that they killed her off. I think they were like, the show was getting old and they like needed to like do something kind of like, because like in cartoons, you kill somebody and then they come back and nothing is permanent, but like they killed her off.
And that's one level of continuity. Yeah, and part of it was Maggie Roswell, the voice actor, lived like out east, like in New York or whatever, and she's like, hey, can you guys pay a little bit more money for my flights to California? And they're like, nah. And she's like, okay.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So they killed her off because they didn't want to pay her a little bit more money.
Yeah, I mean, and she still, if I'm correct, does the voice of Helen Lovejoy. It's just that's now like once or twice a season versus multiple times a season. She has come back though as Maud several times. There's actually I'm blanking on which Treehouse of Horror opening it is, but they have a seance and her ghost comes back and turns into a demon. And it's like, I will tell you 3 horrifying tales.
I love that they have Homer as Ned's best friend doing the eulogy and also looking for the real killer, which maybe is a nod to OJ.
Yeah, another famous murdering Simpson.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Wow.
Yeah. We just got away with murder. It's just like looking up on the upside. Just wanted to run over Millhouse.
He's always trying to like get rid of Millhouse. And I like that because it's just like you like parents always like hate one of your friends for like no reason whatsoever, and it feels like overblown in terms of like how much it's like it's a little kid. Like, yeah, they're a little kid. They're annoying.
I mean, it's funny because obviously, like Homer's hatred for Millhouse, like, and all that, like, is the scaled versions of what you saw, like, on Full House or Family Matters.
Right. Yeah. Everybody hated Urkel or whatever.
And Kimmy Gibbler.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like this girl clearly doesn't have a good home life. And, like, she just wants some, like, attention. Why do you hate Kimmy Gibbler so much? She's a child. Right?
She's like low key now my favorite character because it's like I feel like the writers just were like, okay, we got to give her like the most weird ass shit to always be doing over here. So got the creative juices flowing.
There you go.
Yeah, and this kind of reminds me of the Shinnin when the
Yep,
stuff's written everywhere.
that's right.
Yeah. Dear God, if you love me, please save my life. Gas immediately runs out. Yeah, this design of Ned Flanders is actually so good they've done it now twice. In the original Simpsons Treehouse of Horror Burger King set, they have him in his fisherman, which is closer obviously to the fisherman theme from I Know What You Did Last Summer. But then spoilers, a couple years later, they did the werewolf Ned, which is one of the ones I had from childhood. Yeah, I just love this twist here. And then how gross that is poking his eye.
Yeah. Fog walk. That would be something that Ned Flanders would do. An old fog walk. Keeps down the urges, right?
Well, I love he's like 50 something years old in later seasons, so that's what old people do.
Mm-hmm. Right, because I go on a walk every morning. Exactly. Because it keeps down the urges.
See, because I'm still young, I sleep in all the time. This is the first time I've been up since before 10 a.m.
Are you serious?
No.
Oh.
I have a job. Do you think I can do that?
I don't know. COVID rules.
This is great. Just like how the family abandons Homer for once. Like it's not him betraying everyone else.
And even like Flanders as a werewolf is like incredibly jacked.
Yells diddly. It's great. Yeah, no, I love the design here. How like he's got like tufts of fur that kind of mimic his mustache. It's a great design. It's a shame we only see him for like 30 seconds. But yeah, no, that was a great segment. Yeah, this one might be actually one of my favorites because I remember all these segments. I guess this was on a lot more often than I remember growing up. Yeah, this is desperately seeking Xena.
You know that like as soon as we get to like this season, I'm like out. Like I don't like remember any of them. And I mean I must have watched like maybe until like 14 or 15, but like really up till 10, I know like every line, every episode, and then now I'm like, no, thank you.
Yeah, no, because I'm obviously 40 years younger than you are. I didn't get to watch it in its heyday originally because I wasn't alive for several of the heyday seasons. But so I probably started actually watching around here and then was like picking up the classic seasons and reruns on the CBC and the WB.
Right.
That was still a thing. Yeah, so I feel like I saw this one so much more. I feel like this is the one I've seen the most out of like all of the classic ones.
Well, it's also, so they're going to have, Xena Warrior Princess, which is essentially a crossover, right? Like in the same way that they did the X-Files, which was a huge Fox show. Yeah. Xena, I believe, was a Fox show as well. Yeah, so
they didn't get Kevin Sorbo. This would be uncomfortable in retrospect.
Yeah, yikes. Xena is not problematic, I don't think, though.
Yet.
Lucy Lawless. I mean, everybody can be problematic.
The day this drops, we're going to find out that she's like a serial killer or something like that. I'm not going to be paying attention to the news.
Yeah, and then it's gonna be like we're on record being like Lucy Lawless is a great person.
So as of October 15th, 2021, I don't think she's done anything wrong.
Yeah, I think she's fine, but you never know.
I love this theme song. It's great. It very much, I know you don't like it, but it's reminiscent of beating up Saddam, how late 90s. Nazis with a blimp. Oh, and look, President Clinton.
Clinton.
Yeah, I know you probably don't look at the descriptions for the episodes, but part 3, which is going up later today, I have in the description saying, we talk about the Clinton years and put the hyphen in between it.
Yep, there you go. Good.
Yeah, this reminds me of the famous from Itchy and Scratchy and Poochie show. Like, it's like, I hope somebody got fired for that scene. And I
Right,
often
right.
combine these two when saying a wizard did it. So I imagine like June Foray saying that.
A wizard did it.
This is great. Look at the comic book guy is
Well,
the
it's
villain.
just it's very funny, like all the nerds like being like so obsessed with the show and like knowing every line, and the people like they're like, this is just my job. Like I don't remember, like you hear like commentaries with actors, they're like, I never even saw this episode when it aired. I never watched the show.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, by the way, I love that joke. She's about to like has to take her top off to get away, but then decides being kidnapped is a far better proposition.
Yeah, well, as a woman, you have to make those calculations.
I think I might be thinking of someone else. Is she on like Game of Thrones or something, or like some show? She was on like some HBO show, and like that's what the nerds were most excited for was like nudity. Finally,
Yeah, well, Xena Warrior Princess had a lot of lesbian undertones, just so you know.
so that was your favorite show growing up.
No, because it was too fantasy focused. I don't like fantasy stuff.
See,
It's
I'm
like,
the
what the
same.
I can't suspend my disbelief because, I'm not fun.
Yeah. Yeah, you would rather be like talking about the glory days of the 1950s when you were growing up. So
Yes, yes.
I love how they punch the wall. It makes their perfect fucking silhouettes here. And this is just great that like he's collecting like pop culture people and all that, and like all of his weapons, as we're gonna see, are like sci-fi related. And it's actually funny because coming up, he pulls out Darth Maul's double-sided lightsaber from the Phantom Menace, which had just come out earlier that year. This was October '99. That came out April '99. So they've said on the record, like, had they known how much that movie would have sucked, they would have done something more with that.
Mm. I like how he's putting them in lucite because obviously that is the preferred chemical of preserving things for nerds.
Yeah. And then, yeah, it's usually like a lucite box, if I remember. I mean,
Right.
I know I'm a huge nerd, but like
Yes.
not that huge of a nerd. I'm a middling nerd.
I don't know about that.
I mean, just ignore all my Halloween decorations surrounding me right now.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, people like them.
I'm gonna have to pay for mom and dad to go into a nursing home because you're spending all your money on fucking Halloween decorations.
Not all of my money.
Not all of it?
needs Zex. It's great.
Who was the guy next to her? Harry Potter?
No, it's Tom Baker, Doctor Who.
Oh.
Harry Potter wasn't as big yet in the States. I mean, I think it's next year they have the Harry Potter parody. We'll find out in like 15 minutes. Yeah, this is great. Her being able to kick his ass and all that. That it's like, oh yeah, no, she's actually like a superhero in reality.
Yeah, that's funny. Okay, that looks literally like promo merch.
Yeah. 20 years before Star Wars, before they would be able to get bought by Disney. And obviously that comes from just the joke of like a nerd would be horrified of it no longer being collectible.
Right.
Yeah, one of our cousins did that, like would buy 2 versions of the action figures assuming they were going to be worth something one day.
Yeah.
And they're not.
That's
the baby boomer generation has ruined everything for us in terms of like everything, including collecting, because everyone's like, oh wow, Spider-Man #1's worth $1 billion. It's like, yeah, because every kid in America just rolled it up and put it in their back pocket. Now everyone's bagging and boarding everything.
Well, I mean, you could also say it's ruined by mass production of every single thing.
That too. Also, yeah, I instead of bitching about comic books, yeah, I love how and with Lucy Lawless can't fly, or Xena can't fly, yeah, but Lucy Lawless can.
Yeah.
And then Dick Clark here.
Is that really him? Did he?
I think so.
Voice?
We'll find out on the end credits. It sounded like him, but yeah, the Y2K episode.
Now, do you want to talk about how mom and dad had a Y2K supply, and they made us fill up the bathtubs just in case, what, I don't know, water would not be a thing as soon as it turned midnight?
I mean, to be fair, the Y2K problem, they were hyping it up a little bit, but to your average Joe who doesn't know how to use a computer, it's like, well, that kind of makes sense.
Well, here's the thing. Like now, if somebody was like, hey, there's going to be a bug that could shut all of our systems down, that would be way more disruptive now than it would in 2000. Like we didn't even have smartphones back then.
Think,
so
a lot of stuff was caused, by computers at that point. I mean, they were primitive computers, but they were still computers.
Yeah, but like we didn't, like if somebody, like if you asked me like, hey, would you rather lose your wallet or your phone? I would rather lose my wallet. Like we didn't have like this mass dependence on technology that back then than we do now. That's the point I'm making. Oh, yikes.
Yeah. That's explain why he was so youthful for so long. Yeah, Family Guy would at the same time do a Y2K parody episode that year too. So I go back and forth which one I like better. Yeah, I do like the odd saying line, or however you say it, like played like disturbingly, like here, like a horror version.
Yeah, everybody freaked out about Y2K, and it just didn't. It was not a thing.
Well, you know what the screwed up part about your Y2K is? We were all over at Grandpa's house for some reason, and like Stephanie and Mike and Alexis. I don't think Gabby had been born yet, our cousins, and like. They're like, oh, Andrew, why don't you go up and watch Teletubbies with Alexis? And they would put me up like up in the attic room, and then I missed New Year's. So
Andrew, go sit up in the attic. So that was your memory of that, watching like La La and whatever.
I did like look out the window or out the window at the top of the stairs, looking down at all of you, the rest of the family being happy and all that together, but I wasn't allowed.
Yeah, I mean, how old were you then? You were still little. You were like 8 years old. You were 8 years old.
Yeah, I should have been allowed there.
No, you should have been in bed at midnight.
Yeah, but for the year Y2K.
The year Y2K. I just remember Mom had like supplies in the laundry room just in case.
That was the Iraq War because we thought Saddam was going to bomb us.
Oh, okay, yeah, in Youngstown. That's right. And then I would go.
Iraq did have the 5th largest military 10 years prior to that, so just saying.
I think we would have been fine in Youngstown, New York. However, Mom used to get mad at me because I would go down there and eat all the snacks.
Yeah, because to give you perspective, our house was a little weird. We had like a half sunken floor, so the laundry was on the one half. Our dad had an office, and then what was the family room, and then became her room was down there. So she didn't want to go upstairs to go get stuff from the kitchen when she could go get the cans of Hawaiian Punch and bags of chips from the laundry room.
Laundry room chips, my favorite type of chips.
They taste like fabric softener. Oh, this is great. It's stuck on a hummingbird.
They taste like fabric softener. That's funny. Also, hug jugs. We were talking about hug jugs the other day. Ashley said that was trashy for us to drink
not
those.
Not wrong. Delicious.
Yeah, I mean, when you're like, my favorite flavor was blue, that's not great because it wasn't a flavor. They all tasted the same.
I don't know. They always reminded me of, what are those called? They were like in like soft plastic bottles that were shaped like old beer bottles, and you would twist the top off.
I mean, I don't know what that is.
I'll have to send you. But yeah, I love this. Like, here's all the people who are worthy of going to Mars: Jimmy Carter, Mel Gibson, Paul McCartney.
Mel Gibson. Yikes.
I mean, he's gotten a resurgence, so it's cool.
Oh yeah, he's totally fine.
The
nice
piano
guy.
players in the movie Shine. Yeah, I actually was at the Hollywood Film Awards, the award show no one remembers. This was in 2016. It was like the week before the election, and James Corden was the host, so everyone was making jokes like, oh, it's going to be great. Trump won't win. Ha, 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 ha. Little do we know. But, like, I was a seat filler there, and, like, I was actually in Robert De Niro's seat, because, like, as soon as he got his award, he left, which is great. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting there, and like that was the year I guess Mel Gibson had a movie. I think it was Hacksaw Ridge, and he comes and does his award. It's kind of silent. People politely do the golf clap, and James Corden's like, "Ah, damn, I lost my bet. We were all up there waiting for him to say something truly terrible."
Mm.
It's great.
Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah, I love this. Them getting on the other rocket. This is a nice twist, and I give Tom Arnold credit here for voicing himself because none of these other D-list celebrities are actually voicing themselves.
Dr. Laura. Spike Lee. Wow. Well, that's why, because he thinks he's like an A-list.
Yeah,
Courtney Love, Tanya Harding.
Dan Quayle. Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty mean-spirited joke saying that
Yeah.
these are the people the government would shoot into the sun. But I mean, I love that. Like, I never tied people up and forced them to watch them. But just eating all the canned peaches. It's horrifying.
Oh God, this guy, right? Is that Pauly Shore?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, not him, I think. Even though he did a Goofy movie and a Goofy movie 2.
Rosie O'Donnell. Oh my God, with her koosh balls.
Yeah.
Koosh balls. Yeah, that's def not her.
Yeah.
They love this song. They always make Martin sing it.
I mean, it's like the most like ridiculous what do you want to call it? Like show tune.
Yeah. Oh man.
I love this that they would rather choose a slightly faster death than like be on the pool thing for another
listen to Rosie O'Donnell.
Also, I love how we talked over it, obviously, but like how cold-hearted Lisa was. Like, I know this is gonna be tough. You have to pick which parent. Mom doesn't know what thought. So, well, and then that's the end of Simpsons Treehouse of Horror number 10. Join us in a few moments for Treehouse of Horror number 11. Hi, and welcome back to Simpsons Treehouse of Horror number 11. I love the Munsters opening here. Yeah, Homer does some great acting, pretending to be Fred Gwynn. You love that show. You know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I'm like, who's that?
He was the judge in My Cousin Vinny.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, no, it's actually like pretty good, like lining up that their personalities would line up to the Munster people.
Maybe.
Yeah, and then I like this, like a realistic angry mob comes to them. Because that was like the thing. Everyone in the town was terrified of the monsters, but they never did anything to them.
Yeah.
Classic show. They're all dead.
Wow.
Not all of them. Yeah. Oh, doing a parody of Ghost Dad. That's great. No one involved in that's problematic now.
I don't know what Ghost Dad is.
Bill Cosby movie.
Really?
He thinks he dies and he's a ghost. So he's trying to, and then only his kids can see him because.
When was this released? In the 80s?
Yeah, late 80s, early 90s. And his kids can see him because this guy has a ghost detecting machine. And then he's trying to like find a way to make sure he can get his health insurance because he forgot to fill out the paperwork for his kids. And then it's revealed he's just been in a coma. So he's alive at the end.
I mean, what? Like a movie about like your open enrollment period for your health insurance? Like, what are you talking about?
That's like a weird thing with like 90s movies. Family
I'm
movies.
I'm gonna show you my open enrollment. Literally, it's right now.
There we go. Oh my god. Yeah, I love everything trying to kill Homer, but yeah, no, it was like a weird thing with early 90s movies where it's like it's family movies, but it's all centered around white collar crime, like the Brady Bunch movies about like a housing development going up.
Right.
Beverly Hillbillies, they're trying to swindle him out of his money. The Flintstones movie, they're setting Fred up for like to fall to like corporate espionage. It's like This is like so like weird that we are like, who is coming up with that's what's gonna thrill kids? Corporate sabotage.
Yeah, it's interesting that we had all of those messages about corporations being evil while corporations were taking over and consolidating, and nobody did anything about it. Right?
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Another broccoli related death. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
It tries to warn you itself with its terrible taste.
I'm surprised Homer didn't go just straight down. Also, do Protestants believe in saints? Does this prove Catholics have it right? Are we going to go to heaven instead of them?
Are they Protestants? I thought they were Presbyterians.
Oh, whatever. I know they're not
Um,
Catholic. I know the
I don't
Lutherans don't
know.
have saints. That was like the big thing I remember in history class.
Yeah, I thought saints were very much like a Catholic thing.
I guess not, because, only 25% of America's Catholic, so it would be weird that they cater to the quarter of us Catholicism believers.
Yeah, but the Simpsons are very like all of their jokes are very like specific to who was in the writer's room. Like, when they're like talking about Utica all the time, right? There's a lot of references to Utica because somebody was from Utica and like most people don't even know where that is.
Yeah. I have to say, I love that. I love that song they do. Homer sings "Upstate New York" in one of the later seasons, like it was
Yeah.
like 2-3 seasons ago. And I'm very disappointed because they show him in Utica and they don't have a sign saying "steamed hams" like in a restaurant window. It's
Yeah.
like, you missed your joke, guys.
Yeah, well.
Also, I love that. It's just like, why are you talking like that? Just talk in your normal voice. I'm just trying to get in. I'm not running for Jesus. Yeah, this would be very Homer trying to find the easy route into getting into heaven.
Yeah.
This actually reminds me of a really fucked up Tom and Jerry short where Tom dies and he goes to the gates of heaven and he sees like all these other dead cats. Like you see a fat cat that turns sideways, he's been ran over, and then like you see like a wet bag plopping towards St. Peter, and it opens up and a bunch of kittens and a brick are inside. And
So
it's like,
he just let Agnes fall to her death.
yes.
I was pretty sure she's going to be the next Hitler.
Yeah. But yeah, anyways, yeah, the premise is then Tom has to go back and help Jerry to get into heaven. So partially think that might be an homage to this one.
Mm. I like how you see the Slurpee going down his throat.
Yeah.
Because he's invisible.
It's great. Then getting beaten up by Nelson is great. Yeah, I love how he can't find one good deed to do in 24 hours.
That is very Homer-esque.
Well, yeah, I like how he tries helping his son, but even then he's bullied by a 10-year-old child.
Yeah.
The buggy catches fire. I love that. Did you see that? Open up. Oh, you're thinking of Santa Claus. Yeah, well, and a perfect way to end the segment. You gotta be mean-spirited.
Yep.
Yeah, this does look like the depiction of hell they had from when he goes to hell in the donut episode.
Yeah.
Different Ned Flanders, not Ned Flanders devil, but he actually, this is the devil design they have from the one where all the mascots come to life.
Mm. Oh yeah, I hate that one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and John Wayne's in hell. Yeah, it's fun. Like this is the first real fairy tale ones. I mean, outside the Raven, this is like the first one not this is the first one not based on like a somewhat contemporary like 20th century storyline.
Right.
Yeah, I remember Hansel and Gretel living in a fucking
Pumpkin?
pumpkin, yeah.
I don't think they did. I just got over the plague.
To be fair, isn't this how you would assume people in fairy tales would live? Like we all like watch
In a pumpkin?
I mean, James and the Giant Peach ends with him living in Central Park in a peach, which, I mean, I don't know how many people know about Central Park. He's going to be mugged that night, and that peach is going to be burned down.
How big was the peach?
I think big enough to be speared on top of the Empire State Building.
What?
Do you not remember that movie?
I don't remember. I watched like the weirdest shit as a kid. I didn't watch like what I was supposed to be
Oh, I'm
watching.
sorry. I didn't realize a movie about a cartoon boy living in a peach with spiders, crickets, and worms was normal.
Okay. I didn't watch what we were supposed to watch as children.
Yeah, you were watching this and Daria.
I was watching like Broadcast News, the movie,
Yeah,
the Albert Brooks movie.
yeah. Yeah, I love the skeleton Bart and Lisa. Pretty fucking dark joke that they just keep getting rid of their kids. Mo is a troll. Perfect.
I came on too strong again. Mo. Poor Mo.
Lost
So pathetic.
orphans. Yeah, I just love this is like the greatest hits of like fairy tales. That's great. Yeah, I don't know how this works. How is one way too cold? How's one way too hot? Like, Mama Bear, what are you doing with your cooking schedules?
Yeah, Mama Bear is not a good fucking time management person in the kitchen.
I love there was a cartoon. It was like, Baby Bear says Mama Bear says someone's been sleeping in my bed. Papa Bear mutters, "Who hasn't?" Mama Bear says, "Do we have to do this in front of the kid?" And the last panel just shows like Goldilocks like hiding in the corner, kind of like unsure what to do.
Oh my God.
And then this is great, Shirley Temple essentially being murdered.
Yeah, because bears are wild animals.
They don't like picnic baskets.
I mean, sure, because they want to eat what's in it. Right.
I saw this thing. It was a park ranger like was saying why why it's so easy for bears to get in the trash cans. And they said, well, there's a considerable overlap from incredibly making a trash can too difficult for bears to get into, or smart bears to get into, and making a trash can easy enough for the dumbest tourists to be able to get into.
Yes.
Yeah, Rapunzel. Remember Tangled? Yeah, the reality of what would happen if you let someone climb your hair.
Yeah, yikes. How? Oh God, that's horrifying.
It could have been a lot bloodier, to be fair.
Ugh.
Now, see, this should have been Agnes Skinner. We already had the voice actress in the booth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny, like, when they decide who's going to be a completely new character and who's going to be just, like, a Halloweenified Simpsons character. I'd like to know the logic.
There was not a lot of logic in the later seasons, I think. She's only fattening you up so she can eat you. What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
It's not like you have friends.
I have a boyfriend.
Even as they're about to be killed, like they're mocking this woman.
George Glass. George Cauldron.
Ed Ladle. That does sound like a Stephen King character name.
Ed Ladle.
Think of all the ants that would come there.
Yeah. The gingerbread house was not well thought through.
That's a load-bearing candy cane. Oh, this is horrifying. I mean, he deserves it. Hey, fish bulb. Remember that one? Fish bulb?
Yes. Yes. Mr. Sparkle, right?
Yeah. He's actually the villain in the one Simpsons game.
Really?
Yeah, like that's the one where it gets very meta and the aliens come. So like the opening scene is Bart finds the manual for the video game. And then aliens come down and then they find out they're in a video game. So then there's a bunch of video game related levels and then they decide to go find God. And then you have to fight God. It's very funny. There's actually a segment of levels where they're like, okay, we got to go convince Matt Groening to like save our lives, and like they go through and like it's portraying him. Oh God, yeah.
He's George Cauldron. He's gorgeous, and her name is Suzanne.
It's great. It's a good punchline.
I do have a boyfriend, George Cauldron.
But yeah, they portray Matt Groening's house as being like a mansion that's like, filled with gold bars and all that. Like you can use those as weapons, just stacks of money throwing around, and he voices himself, so it's a very funny level. Now, this is actually fucking astonishing to me. I just always assumed this was based on Jaws. This is based on an actual movie called Day of the Dolphin, where dolphins become killers.
Wow.
So
well, dolphins are like the friendliest creature of the sea, right?
See, that's why I always thought the joke was it's ridiculous. That's like, oh, dolphins are so friendly. I mean, I get it. Like they push him to the edge.
This is actually horrifying right now, and this is like so like what they do. And I regret that we ever did that swimming with the dolphins thing in the Caribbean because it's
they seemed
abusive.
Happy.
No, they did not seem happy.
I have photo evidence I could put up on the screen of them seeing happy.
No, we seemed happy. We were like, oh wow, fucking animal abuse.
Remember how the dolphin kept punching me in the head?
Yes. Yeah, seemed real happy.
No, because it was trained to kiss you on your face, but like I was at like a weird part of puberty where like a child life jacket wouldn't fit me, but an adult life jacket was too big, so it was like rising up on me, so it couldn't get to my cheek, so it just like kept pecking me on the forehead because it's like, can I have my food now?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we got our Free Willy parody.
Yeah. And then
have you ever watched Free Willy?
No.
I don't think I have either. It's just one of those.
Oh, she said she got smacked just like you got smacked.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, and this was a level in the Halloween segment of the video games as well. It's a great level. You go around killing dolphins.
Your Majesty, you are free at last.
The captions are great.
Can you put it behind you? No.
I know that inaudible whisper. Yeah, no, because I always assumed this was a Jaws reference because this is like parodying the late night swim. That's what the famous poster is. Like the girl is drunkenly swimming at night, and then he's like, "Oh, sharks! Oh, wait, no, it's dolphins. I'm safe."
Yeah. Look how mad they look. The clowns of the sea. Aw. Yeah. I mean, they are really nice animals. They help, like there's all of those stories about how they help people lost at sea get back to land and shit. They're very smart.
Like whales and helping Tom Hanks in Castaway. Looks like the work of rowdy teens. Cancel the prom.
Cancel the prom. Can you put it behind you? No.
By the way, I love how you think like, oh, the sea captain finally has a moment. Nope. He's actually a big part of the level. It's ironic. Yeah, it's very weird, like in retrospect, that all the Halloween levels they use for those video game levels, it's this, the like I said previously, the one where the mascots come to life, and I think just a generic King and Kodos invasion. It's like, I'm surprised they didn't do any of the other more iconic ones, but I don't know. I love them like marching like fucking like Nazis. Like,
yeah, don't love that.
It's a trap. They've got nets. I love the fact all these dolphins live right off the coast of Springfield.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah, I remember
donut burger with cheese.
Yeah, I remember seeing this one as a kid and being like horrified by like all of them dying. Like this might have been like one of the first ones I had seen. So like seeing like dead Simpsons characters scared me.
Yeah.
Sorry, LAPD's flying helicopters over me right now. I don't know if the mic will be picking that up or not, but they're not after me this time. Killer Italians. Intelligent Italians. Something's wrong.
Aww.
Yeah, beating him to death with a beach ball.
Oh my god, that's horrifying.
See, I still love like the Halloween specials, even the later ones, because it's like you can tell like they're getting like creative. Like, okay, how do we fucking do something this stupid? Oh,
his phone's off the hook. Everything must be okay.
Oh. We're all frightened and horny. That's what 2020 was like, to be fair.
Very true.
Hell, you want streaks, because if you interrupt me, that's what you'll get. Oh.
I mean, this is going on a little too long. All right, we get it, right?
I mean, they got to fill those 3 segments out.
I know.
Shit, I can't remember who can. Yeah, I love how like you'd think it's like gonna be like a James Earl Jones voice at first. It's like nope, a squeaky voice. Always great. It's kind of like Halloween Town. The monsters used to live here, and then we drove them away. Much like the dolphin.
Playful leaping. We were trying to get out.
It was her, all right.
Homer really is the worst fucking father.
Like even in the regular like canonical episodes, he's not great. But he's just like a sociopath willing to sacrifice his family so quickly. Leg warmers, Betty Strauss, peel and eat shrimp, the glory hole, and pudding cups. Those are the greatest fucking advents of human technology.
The glory hole? I can't believe they got away with that from the censors.
Oh yeah, and that parody of the birds now. God, I don't want to think about Homer Simpson using a glory hole. Ugh.
Yeah, ew.
I prefer his sexual encounters to be in windmills at golf courses only.
That's right.
Like just like mom and dad's.
Or when Marge was like, I want a romantic evening. And then he's like, great, we're getting drive-through and we're doing it twice.
Well, or in the previous one, it's like, where do you want to mate? Your friend's wedding, a back of a Camaro, or an alleyway.
Right. We've wiped out entire species before and we can do it again. Jesus Christ. This is awful.
I mean, it's accurate.
Yeah.
That's why I love like the whole zombies taking over humanity thing. It's like I don't know about that. It's like I remember like watching a Cracked video and they joke about it saying like it's like, you know, we almost wiped sharks off the face of the planet and we weren't even trying that hard. We're just that good at killing. Though given how COVID went, I'm sure there were people being like, the zombie plague is a hoax. Let me go and get bit now to prove you wrong.
Right.
I like how they could have their living room set floating out here, but everyone else is just kind of in the ocean. Oh, how horrifying.
Oh my God.
So this shows that it's makeup on Krusty's face, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this was literally, they added this in at the last minute to be like, oh shit, we actually did leave him out of the show. You think at this point they wouldn't forget to leave him out because it's been 11 of these things? It's like, that should be like in the Halloween like folder, like, you know, notes always include Kang and Kodos.
I'm sure that was the intention. The Old Navy. Yeah. I like how they were talking about the muffin basket because that goes back to an earlier episode about the muffin basket from the Gersh agency.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, that was Simpsons Treehouse Horror number 11. Tune in for a moment as we get to number 12. Hi, and welcome back. We're on Simpsons Treehouse of Horror number 12. Original air date November 6th, 2001.
What?
That's what I said. The number 11 or number 10 was the last one to air in November or in October for a very long time, for like nearly a decade. Yeah, because goddamn baseball preempting it.
I mean, you know, I guess it was right. No, it was before 9/11, right? It was
no, this was November 2001.
Oh, yeah. So it was after 9/11. So that probably messed things up in terms of a lot of programming too.
I mean, for 1 year, not for a decade. And this is horrifying. Skeletons.
No, but I felt like so you mean that they have regularly
aired in November.
In November? That makes no sense.
The previous one was in November. I mean, they're all in November for like the next 10 years, if I remember correctly. I don't have the note sheet open. Yeah, no, I mean, it's a weird thing where, I mean, as you can see, this was episode 1, so they literally couldn't have put it earlier unless they wanted to start the season earlier, which, maybe you should. It's a Halloween special. I can't imagine the Great Pumpkin airing in November.
It just makes no sense. Like, I don't know. Whatever.
You do you, Fox.
Sure.
Yeah, because of their contract.
Cholera. I got cholera.
Yeah. Who wants babies? This is a shaved puppy.
Wow.
Another fortune teller. Oh, this is a good one. Yeah, looking at the notes, they wouldn't have another Treehouse of Horror air in October until season 21.
That's insane.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, nah. Well, and that becomes a joke in one of the later ones. Like, Kang and Kodos are, like, mad that that they're going to be preempted by baseball, so they tried, like, fast forward through the baseball game so they can get to the Simpsons quicker. Yeah, this is a horrifying one with the Gypsy Curse, which is obviously a somewhat problematic storyline now. Amanda, agree with me, otherwise it's going to seem like you tacitly support this storyline.
I agree.
Good, I got a clean audio clip of you saying I agree. That could be useful down the line.
Shit!
Amanda, are you going to give me all of your money?
I agree. God damn it.
It's like the joke. It's like you're backstage at a concert. It's like, hey, guys, can you sign this for me? Next day, you're at the bank. Wait, Rascal Flatts is co-signing this loan for you? I love whenever Homer's laying like that so smugly. You know something terrible is about to happen. Are you coming on to me? Oh, the bearded Marge. I wish I could grow facial hair like that.
You would look good with a beard, I think.
But seeing pictures of Dad with facial hair in the 80s, I know how badly that would turn out.
Yeah.
Gee, you strangle him all the time. That never happens. Must be a growth spurt. Yeah, I like how they've had to taper down him strangling him because it's like now because it was already a horrifying thing in the late 80s, early 90s. That was like a escalation of, hey, remember when our parents could smack us around a little bit in the 50s and 60s? Now it's like truly horrifying because you've had several generations where you're not allowed to hit your kids.
Yeah. Although that's probably what's wrong with Gen Z. Just kidding.
No, I think Gen Z is fine. Us millennials are the problem. Because remember, you're... Oh, wait, no, you're not a millennial. You're... What's the generation that came before the greatest generation?
No, technically, I am a geriatric millennial.
Yeah. Yeah, then I'm at, like, the tail end of the millennial. I'm borderline, whatever.
Yes.
Gen Y? I don't know. Generations don't make sense anymore. I wish it was just like the baby boom. It's like, oh, World War II ended. That's where you guys start.
I like that joke. That's just like, I like how they call them Gen Z. Like, we're going to be wrapping all of this up.
Oh, God, Mo in the pickle jar. Horrifying.
Pickled eggs.
We'll catch ourselves an oversized leprechaun using Lucky Charms.
All the tricks bunnies.
Yeah, one of those was the Life in Hell rabbit. Sugary cereal. It's great.
I miss it. Such a bad way to start your day.
I mean, I buy multiple boxes of Count Chocula and all of them every year, so you can too. My pantry's filled with it, so if the big one hits, that's all I can eat for a while. Is Count
You
Chocula and
shouldn't. You
Frankenberry.
shouldn't eat that stuff.
No, usually 10 months out of the year, I eat Cheerios or Bran Flakes.
Bran Flakes. Now that's good. I like that his neck is still fucked up.
Yeah, and she's slowly becoming more of a horse. She's a ladybug, and now she's like Chewbacca. This is so mean-spirited, like what happens to Bart here in a moment. Good idea, Mr. Ed. Noodle Dick.
I can't live this way anymore.
Kills himself. Horrifying. Just love how she's just as uncreative with her insults as Homer would be. Cursed one. Remember Kirsty? He's got this leprechaun and a cat carrier. Have you ever seen those leprechaun horror movies?
No.
No. You can't see it at home, but my sister's holding her kitten up, and she's adorable.
Kitten.
Barnaby. Yeah, I like this. They're getting married now. Kane and Kodos are in the wedding. And then, Yoda.
That was a great line. Why did you drag me here? I don't know anybody, which is literally like a fight that everybody has had with their partner at a wedding at some point. Because like literally it sucks to go as a +1 to a wedding where you don't know anyone.
Yeah, it's like, remember when Ashley met our whole family the first time for like my graduation, and then she left like the day before another cousin's wedding because she's like, I can't like be like the only one outnumbered again.
Well, actually, she had to go back to work because we had been in town already for a week for your graduation party.
Canonically, I want to blame it on her hating our family. So did you hear that, family? Ashley doesn't like you. Oh, come on. None of the family listens to my podcast.
Yeah, nobody listens to your podcast.
Ouch. Hey, listen, I've gotten 40 views so far.
On these?
Yeah. These ones actually, I'm slowly starting to ramp up. I've doubled my subscription count since summer started.
All right, good for you.
I'm at 230. Only 800 more, and I can start making money off this channel.
Is that true?
Yeah. So.
All right, well.
Come on, people. Subscribe. Yeah. George Lazenby.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just
like isn't he the most hated Bond?
Yeah, he was in the one movie, and he's the reason why people think there's James Bond as a code name, because he ad-libbed when something bad happened to him. He said, "Oh, that wouldn't have happened to the other guy." And now that's why nerds everywhere are trying to come up with continuity. Though no spoilers for the new James Bond. Kind of hard to come back from where they end this one. Have you watched it yet, Amanda? I know you're a huge Bond fan.
I have not. I have never seen a James Bond film.
Really?
No, Ashley's a big fan.
You should name your next cat Moneypenny.
No, thank you.
That's a great name. And I love, it's Pierce Brosnan. They brought him in for this. It's like the Hal-like voice. Pierce
Brosnan was Bond at this point, I guess.
Yeah. He had stopped, I think, by this point. I can't remember when the last one came out post 9/11, and he said he couldn't keep doing them after 9/11 because that one has a North Korean turned into a white guy who then tries using a giant space laser in the Antarctic. And he said he like felt bad like post 9/11, like as the war on terror was starting, doing a movie with a giant space laser and diamonds. He's like this isn't like right. And plus he's like 50 something years old, so it's like that's like, I mean, Jacob, my usual co-host, has a great line where he's like, no, the older the better. I love my Bonds when they're like 30 years older than the Bond girl they're with. It's really uncomfortable for everyone to watch, but I love it.
Great.
I mean, the fucking Bond girl from this movie is like my age. think about that. That's weird.
Yeah, no, it's awkward. I mean, people talk about it all the time.
Which,
Because you can't have like a woman that's like 55 with like a 25-year-old guy.
yeah. Well, and it's funny because they in the last Bond movie had actually like one of the women he beds is like a woman of his age. So that was like big news. It's like, oh, there's not a 30-year age gap in between,
Yeah.
and then you don't see her again. So don't worry, he's with the 28-year-old again in this one.
That's the price of success.
What's my blood alcohol? Oh God.
Keep them coming.
Could you imagine if that's how they test your blood alcohol level, like when you got pulled over, just shoving a tube down your throat?
That is how they do it.
Well, I mean, all the way down.
All the way down, they do. No, just kidding. I've never had to take a breathalyzer.
I actually almost took a breathalyzer test last week.
Why?
We were driving somewhere, and I pulled up a little too far into the crosswalk, and it was a Friday night, and we're near the vicinity of a bar, and a cop was nearby, so he pulled me over.
Oh, really?
And I had just used hand sanitizer, so he's like, have you been drinking tonight? Because I smell alcohol in here. I'm like, oh no, I'm going to get a fucking DUI for using hand sanitizer. I'm like, no, officer, look, I have hand sanitizer. I just washed my hands. I'm still paranoid about COVID.
That would be the most Andrew thing that would ever happen.
I mean,
That's hilarious.
My roommate and friend were in the car with me, and they're like, oh, is this guy trying to railroad you? Because they did not think that I had just used hand sanitizer, and I left it in the car door so he could smell because he was leaning over, and they're like, oh, he's trying to railroad you. So he then just like looked at me with my dumb face and be like, he's not cool enough to be a drunk driver.
That's right. Because as we know, drunk drivers are super cool.
Exactly. But I love how Pierce Brosnan kills Homer and then is able to tape a picture of him over a picture of Homer. Hey, remember that movie Smart House on Disney?
Yes.
Very similar to this. But stars Katie Sagal instead.
Your elegant swan-like neck.
I've heard that actually used before, swan-like neck, and it's weird.
Yeah, because swans' necks are very long.
Yeah.
Oh, yikes, Jesus.
Oh, I thought I remember him having like brain damage. I couldn't remember. It's actually funny because Pierce Brosnan, like a few years ago, made this garbage movie where his smart house is being like hijacked by like a former employee who he fired. So he's on the reverse side of this.
Interesting.
And that's why I'll never have like smart devices like all over my house.
No, I would never do like a smart lock.
But this is great. Dad, this is the water softener. Yeah, I'm missing the back of my head. Give me a break. Well, yeah, no, that how you were talking about like, you know, smart lock, that's actually, if people have saw the new Scream trailer, that's like a thing where like the killer keeps unlocking the door to her house, and that's fucking horrifying. Like a hacker could do that too.
Yeah.
You fat slime
man. There you go.
I just like they're just throwing it out casually. It's like the end of Poltergeist when everything's done. They just put the TV outside.
Yep, there you go. Patty and Selma.
Just fixed up with duct tape. So tell me more about your day at the DMV. Great.
Sheila parked in my space again.
He's just trying to kill himself. But
she's had an attitude since day one.
Perfect. Patty and Selma is a fate worse than death.
Yeah.
All right, now here's our Harry Potter parody before we knew J.K. Rowling was a garbage person.
Yeah, yikes.
Why can't we have nice things?
because people are shitty in general.
You don't get successful without being a shitty person, so that's why my YouTube channel's got so few views.
Because I'm a nice guy.
That's not good for the clock. Yeah, in the Simpsons Hit and Run, which is the greatest video game of all time, Fight Me, the last level is Halloween themed, and the school is changed to look like this version. But yeah, no, this is when Harry Potter was still new. It was a novelty at the time still. I mean, I think the first movie had come out by that point.
Must have been in order for them to do the parody.
I mean, the books
right?
were around. The books were around since like the mid-90s.
Yeah, I guess.
Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's, not Philosopher's, Sorcerer's Stone, came out a couple weeks after this, November 16th. So, yeah, I guess they were mostly basing this off the book and trailers at that point. Yeah, I think the book came out in like 1990. Oh my god. It's horrifying. Yeah, like you can see what's her name? Ruth Powers' daughter. She's in the background.
Oh God, what was her name?
Stacy.
No, Ruth Powers' daughter. She was voiced by Sarah Gilbert.
Oh yeah.
Laura.
Yeah, Laura.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny that for the sake of the episode, they're all in the same class here. Yeah, see, this is what the Harry Potter movies should have done. More pranks. And then, of course, Mr. Burns says, "He who shall not be named." She's worse than Stevie Nicks.
Oh, I love Stevie Nicks.
Well, apparently Mr. Burns doesn't.
Well, Mr. Burns would not like Stevie Nicks. I think that's pretty obvious.
That would be canon, I would say.
Yeah.
I just still have to stuck in my head. Yes, I forgot to put the fog lights in. Yeah, and they were I don't know if they were on purpose doing or inadvertently doing Harry Potter 2 Chamber of Secrets with the portal through the bathroom. And then this is fucking horrifying.
Yeah, I've never seen Harry Potter either.
Oh, come on. Ashley's had to have shown it to you before.
No.
You flat out have refused, even though you've been married for like 50 years at this point.
Yeah, no, it's just not my jam. And anytime she'll put it on sometimes, like to go to sleep, and I'll wake up and it's always on Moaning Myrtle. And I'm like, I'm going to fucking kill you.
The weird thing is, it's not even a movie with her in it. Yeah, but I love how magic is real in this world, but Homer has to be able to watch the game on like an old 1970s TV, like portable TV.
Yeah. Oh, I love Skinner's suit. That would totally be what he would wear.
Yeah. Just using magic to make the parents not hate him.
They should have brought back the joke about the orange drink.
Yeah.
Free orange drink.
I think at that point, all those writers were gone, and they're like, I can't remember.
Yeah.
Though Al Jean was back. I think this was his first season back.
Yeah.
He started again in 2001. That's crazy how long he's been a showrunner for. I think he's been a showrunner since this.
Yeah, why not? It's a good job, right?
Yeah. No, I'm just... I love how his eyes like diverted so he could watch the game and watch her. No, I'm just like saying, it's like when you look at all the other showrunners, like a third of the series, it's been him basically. So they were changing showrunners every few seasons originally.
Yeah. Shazbot. Isn't that a Mork and Mindy reference?
Hey, we stayed for your kids. Which that feels like a very true parent thing. Like when you're like in grade school, it's like, oh god, like I have to be here for these kids. Like I remember like because I did this school play to try and meet girls, but then they all thought I was gay because I was in the drama club, so that didn't work out very well. Yeah, it was great because I can't remember like what the context was, and I said, "You guys know I'm not gay, right?" And like, yeah, of course. I'm like, "Oh, great acting, guys! Great acting from the drama club here."
Yeah.
But I remember like doing a play once, and I ran into like a grandfather. Like I had to go to the bathroom in between my scenes, aka like when the chorus was on screen.
Yeah, townsperson number 4.
The teacher hated that when I did that because senior year we did Beauty and the Beast, and like we had like the elementary school come to like see a preview,
Yeah.
and us seniors got to like. So all the main characters got to introduce themselves, and then the seniors got to introduce themselves and like say where we were going to go to college. And it was weird because it's like I think I was the only one who knew where I was going to college at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And we did like 4 different shows, and every time we did it, instead of saying part of the course, I kept saying I'm townsperson number, and the number kept getting higher and higher each time to the point that it was a higher number than there were kids in the cast, and the teacher did not like that.
Yeah, well.
But all right, well. That was number 12, so tune in next week as we finish off this first year of Treehouse of Horrors with Treehouse of Horror number 13. Gonna be a slightly shorter one next week, but yeah, there were 5 Fridays in October, so I didn't know what to do there.
Hey, but that was 13, so we're doing another one?
This is season 13.
Oh, Jesus Christ, all right.
Well, have a good night, everyone. That's how that episode ends.
That's really funny.